I hate mistakes, of looking bad, or like an idiot, or of letting people down. Or rather, I should say I hate me making mistakes. If others do it, I encourage them to see mistakes as life lessons. I always say the only person who lives a mistake-free life is the person who is doing nothing, although that could be their biggest mistake of all. But when I think back on my many mistakes, I have gained a wealth of experience and learning. For example, my four failed driving tests, devastating to my confidence at the time, meant that I had to have more lessons and driving practice, and by the time when I finally passed my 5th test, threw away my L plates and hit the road, I was a reasonably accomplished driver. When I was training as an image consultant, I sailed through the first few weeks getting every client right. The only problem was I had absolutely no idea how I was doing it. This was great for the ego, but I knew that I had nothing to fall back on if my instinct let me down. Then one day, in front of all my fellow trainees and all the tutors, I got a client completely wrong. But as my errors were explained, my audience could almost hear the sound of the pennies dropping as I finally grasped what the process was all about. At that moment, I became more confident as a consultant. Not making mistakes can also create a barrier between you and others. We all know someone who always seems to get it absolutely right all the time, who is always perfect. And aren't they just occasionally a little bit annoying? But we all make mistakes. That isn't the problem. The problem is if you let the mistakes define you, where you create the self-image that mistakes equals bad person, or you hold yourself back in case it all goes horribly wrong. Embrace the mistakes, learn the lessons, and move on, a more knowledgeable and experienced person. And if all else fails, just remember what Fred Astaire once said. The higher you go up, the more mistakes you're allowed. Right at the top, if you make enough of them, it's considered to be your style. How stylish will you be today?